It's been a while. Turns out it's been a year since I last uploaded a William Shakespeare video and only got a measly 6 views. So we're just gonna go ahead and take a look at this guy's bald forehead again and take the life and look at the life of William G. Shakespeare. Dark Sean presents William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, I don't care in anybody's world. Alright, let's just get this started with right now. So let's start. William Shakespeare. We don't know much about his life. He's still a big mystery to this day. But all we know, other than the fact that he has this nice writing style, is that the fact is, he's the greatest playwright ever in history. Okay, maybe in England or in in English history. By English, I mean everything connected to England, from England's birth and thereafter. In English history, I'm pretty sure this guy's the most famous person in the whole entire world. The Chinese know him, the Koreans know him, the English know him. The only people who don't know him is probably the uneducated and unreadables. And yeah, I'm gonna use the newest updates of Samsung technology, at least the updates for this one, so that I can make a better video about William Shakespeare. Let's make this better, people! So William Shakespeare was, well, we have no idea when he was born. Also, we know the date when he was baptized, April 26th of 2023. No, I'm just kidding. 1564. We can assume that his birthday's sometime in April and probably a few days before this. And it turns out that he was also born in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. Ooh, new technology, I like it. So Stratford-upon-Avon in England, and this is most likely his birth home. Nowadays, it's a museum, and there's the little coat, the Shakespearean coat of arms, like you can see right there. His dad was a glove maker, which needed a lot of wool, and so if there was some extra wool, then his dad would sell it. Although illegally, as he had no license. When his dad earned so much money, the council of the local town that William Shakespeare was lived in invited him to go ahead to become their ale taster. Basically, the VIP guy who tastes ale just to make sure that they're okay. Probably a dreams come true for every alcoholic. Also, I remember a book called The 39 Clues, where they the main characters try to steal the doll they tried to steal the fake doll of William Shakespeare just because they thought there was a paper inside. Also, William Shakespeare was long dead before that doll was made. So yeah, that was a stupid mistake. And then there's a gap in Shakespeare's years that we have no idea. We call these years the lost years. It's his teenage years, and Shakespeare just finished grammar school, which is basically middle school. But here's the thing, middle school is basically college to you guys. They teach college subjects to young students. If you went and graduated grammar school, then you'd know Latin, Greek, philosophy, the rhetorical speaking, the whole bunch of things. And that no one really learns until they're in college, and you could choose to go to college too. We have no idea what happened, other than the fact that his dad's wool business was going really bad, and they finally found out that his dad put a lot of interest on his loans that he gave, 10% interest, which is a lot. And so his dad ended up in trouble, and he lost his ale tasting job. No, says the alcoholic. And then there's a bridge because William Shakespeare had to quit grammar school, and then we end up with the fact that we know that he tried to help his dad on the wool business and the glove making business too. But also, he started writing some plays. Then we end up with the facts of that when he turned 18 in 1582, he married Anne Hathaway, who was actually not a really good match. Lots of people thought, because she was 26 years old, which is 8 years older than William. William should be 8 years older than her, but nope, it switched. Yeah. Personally, I don't think it's a good match either. And then, what's on look? Shakespeare has his chance to become the actor that he always wanted to be. A bunch of actors come nearby because, like, turns out the acting business has shut down a lot, and people really need actors again because, like, the Black Death, everything. Yes, it was that serious. And then we end up with the fact that Shakespeare gives them his resume, which is basically an excerpt of a latest play that he wrote, and like, we like it. Come join us. Like, yay! And since then, he wrote a lot of plays. Also, he didn't stay with them. He basically did a lot of things. He, like, wrote his first play. Could actually be Two Gentlemen of Verona. Well, like, we still have a vague idea of what he wrote and what he didn't write, because it turns out that that what people used to say that Shakespeare wrote, it turns out was written by someone else. Not a lot of people even believe that Shakespeare was a person. Other people think it was, like, some other person, or even Queen Elizabeth herself. Also, that is probably not the fact, because Queen Elizabeth liked watching plays, and royalty didn't have time writing plays too. Another thing would probably also be King James too, but then again, Shakespeare was active before King James was king and knew who Shakespeare was, so yeah. Other people think it's a group of people. This might be the most likely alternative. Like, ever read the Warrior series, like, written by Aaron Hunter? Well, Aaron Hunter is a group of people, not one person. So that's probably the most likely alternative if William Shakespeare isn't a person. And then we end up with knowing that he wrote at least 37 plays that are legitly by him. So yeah. However, The Two Gentlemen of Verona will probably not be his most popular play, because no one pretty much liked it. And then he did something really, 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 really bold. He decided to write plays about English kings and queens. When other people were writing about, like, Greek stuff and Roman stuff, he decided to write about England, which is a pretty hot subject, because it could end up being controversial. And then Queen Elizabeth found out all about them and decided, like, hey, I like these guys. I'm gonna sponsor them. Also, by then, he's, like, in the Lord Chamberlain's group, and they already put a ban on summer plays. Also, summer is their best time of the year, because it's, like, the sunniest day. They had open roofs. And then here comes the Globe. The Globe is a weird story because of the fact that it used to be the theater. The theater's name was the theater, and that theater belonged to the Lord Chamberlain's men. However, the land didn't, and then the Lord's like, no, I will not let you take the building, ha, ha, ha. And so, like, I'm not gonna take it anyway. So after a few weeks, it takes a few weeks for, like, news to travel to that lord, I guess. They took apart the building and put them somewhere else. The lord was furious but could not do anything about it, and we ended up with the Globe. And there, he wrote so many of his classical plays. Othello, As You Like It, Hamlet, Twelfth Night, all the way until The Tempest. Now, here's the interesting story about The Tempest. Wrong. Yeah, The Tempest is supposed to be Shakespeare's last play, but however, Shakespeare decided, like, I miss my daughters. It's time to go home. It's like, yeah, sure. So he wrote this play as his last tribute. So and there's a speech that says that Prospero the wizard says, if all ends well, then I will give up my magic. I will break my staff and drown my book. Basically, and then Richard, his fellow playmate and actor, is like, hey, that means you're gonna quit your writing business area. Yes, it's time to retire. Like, no, please don't retire. We need you. And so, like, yeah, okay. So they wrote Henry VIII. They did a few times as the grand finale of Shakespeare's works, and then they decided to use real cannons in one of the performances to show the entrance of the king. And then when the king comes in and, like, shoots out the, like, boom, boom, one of the cannons was fired, and while everyone was looking at Henry, that whole globe went on fire, and no one saw the little embers. And so, here we are, with William Shakespeare in the lead. He didn't have a really nice retirement, though. He only had retired for 3 years with his lovely wife and kids. And that's it. But just before he died, he wrote a will. But ironically, the will said, I am healthy. I am living healthily right now. Yeah, that's ironic. In the will, it was said that he gave Anne Hathaway, his wife, the second best bed, their marriage bed, at least they say he gave them the second best bed. He gave his daughter, the one who married, the very best bed, the guest bed, and then he gave the other sister, the one that survived, the silver bowl. I have no idea why the silver bowl, so I couldn't find any sources of why. He also seemed to have a lot of inheritance and gave all of them to them as a tribute. And after he died, which he died at the age of 52, This monument was built by Anne Hathaway a little bit after her husband died. He died on April 23rd of 1616. And that is the end of William Shakespeare. He'll probably be the most famous person alive, and I'm pretty sure everyone will know him if they're educated. And if you're watching this in the very far future, like 10 years after this video was made, then I hope you guys have a nice life. Because William Shakespeare didn't have one. Sure, he did, but he had a prosperous one, not a really good one. And that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Hunter and Sean. Hope to see you guys soon. Stein out. Peace. William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is an awesome dude. William Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is an awesome writer.